Welcome to Frywall Fridays. As you can see, our kitchen is getting a makeover. So this week's recipe comes from a happy Frywall customer, Chad in Stillwaters, Alabama. He's going to show us how to make chicken marsala. This fellow knows how to cook. Chad, take it away.
We have 2 sticks of clarified butter, which is 16 tablespoons, ready to go in the frying pan. Here we have about 1.5 pounds of chicken. This is thigh, but you can use breast if that's what you prefer. I'm pounding them with the flat bottom of a saucepan between layers of plastic wrap to about 1/2 inch in thickness. These will go into the fridge uncovered so some of the surface moisture can dry out while we prep the other ingredients. Start by prepping your shallots, garlic, mushrooms, and flat leaf parsley. See the flower plumes? I'm getting here close. Like I'm about to go in. So I'll take the chicken. Different, depending on who you are and what kind of oven you have. You just don't want to burn the butter. If you're not comfortable with butter, you can go with canola and you have a little more forgiveness, but butter has better flavor because it's butter. Because God makes butter, man makes canola. You're looking for a light brown crust on the bottom. Just enough. You don't want it to burn, but you want it to be able so you're not having anything slide off the bottom. So you can see right here, see it's starting to get the tips of the chicken is starting to brown. That's good. So you're going to get a little more of that caramelized color across the surface of the meat, and then we'll flip. And a lot of residual flour, you can see it foaming up. That's going to fall off, and that's going to cause the sauce, help the sauce thicken once we start adding the wine and the vegetables. Feel a little bit of rigidity. See how that's not flopping? It's kind of holding. Shape, that means it's about ready to flip. It starts to hold its shape on the bottom.
About how long have these been going?
About 6 minutes so far. Use a fish spatula to get them out when I'm ready to get them out. So I get them out nice and easy. Because what I don't want to do is if I grab it, see what happens if I grab it. See that pull away? You don't want to pull all the big chunks of the coating off. So what you have there is you can see the condition of the butter. It's not brown. It's the same color it was. There's a lot of residual flour in there that will save. So what we're going to do is we're going to reserve this butter because we don't need it all. We're going to take what we need to make the rest of the sauce. Probably want to make sure there's no water in there. I will give my pan a quick wipe with some clean paper towels. It's hot. We kind of get up all the residual flour and stuff like that. Turn my heat down. You can turn it off for a second. Clean that out. And then you can measure it. But you want just enough for saute. And in go the mushrooms. You can see the brown fond starting to form. A little more butter. And then I'm going to introduce the shallots. And then we do the same thing. Shallots and mushrooms coming together. A perfect harmony of flavor. So much brown is built up there from the fond. So we're going to add a little more butter and we're about to go in with our garlic. So garlic, you do not want it to get brown. So you go a little extra butter. Get your pan nice and coated. And the garlic goes in. And this is only going to be for a few minutes, not even. You have to be careful. You don't want the garlic to burn. Just enough to get the garlic nice and get the pungency out of it. That's what you're looking to do. You can smell it. You can smell the garlic. As soon as you hit it with the garlic just it fills the room. I feel. But we've been totally maybe less than 10 minutes cooking the mushrooms and onions. Maybe about 2 minutes on the garlic. You see that nice brown fond building up on the bottom of the pan. It's going to add nice flavor. Garlic smell's kind of dying down some. That's a good sign. So when you start to lose the garlic smell, that means you're losing some of the pungency, the garlic. You want it to soften. So we're going to deglaze it with about a cup to a cup and a half of Marsala wine. You may not need it all. Careful of steam, don't burn. And scrape that fond. See how I scrape it clean? Scrape it off the bottom. A little bit of, you can add a little bit of wine. The wine's going to thicken up real quick. Scrape the bottom clean. You want to scrape all that up. Just like that. A little bit of pepper. And then about a cup and a half of chicken stock. And we got to reduce that too. And then after we've added the chicken stock, about half, maybe a little less of the parsley. So get a nice simmer. Now is when you want to check you want to get your flavor right. So now's the time. This is going to be your finished sauce. Needs a little salt. It's okay, just go a little salt. Get where you need to be. You can always add a little bit of pepper. Nice and low, about the same temperature. We've not come off the same temperature. We've been on the same temperature for the chicken, the reduction, and now the sauce. When the sauce is finished, we're going to turn the temperature way down because we're done reducing. But it's a little runny. See that? It's not really a gravy style sauce. It's a little bit runny. So somebody came up with this wonderful thing. Purists will hate it, but this is a lifesaver when it comes to making a sauce. You go easy. Just a little coating across the top, and I would always use a whisk to get it blended. And as you simmer, don't use too much. It will take it a minute, but it will start to thicken. So you can see we've taken that sauce, and the bubbles that are slower, they're more muted, and the sauce is thickened up. And I literally used less than a teaspoon. And the flavor's good. So, the coup de grace, acid. You can use sherry vinegar, you can use champagne vinegar, you can use red wine vinegar. Just a little bit of acid. When I say a little bit of acid, I mean that much acid, and you're done. Your sauce is now done. It's nice and thick. See that? See how it's, you can draw a leg, you can draw a valley through it. You have specially made sauce. So the chicken's been resting at a nice little 175. We'll gently take it, tilt it away from the sauce so the mushrooms are on the bottom. Just like that. Make a little place for it. So now, all we're gonna do is we're gonna take the same sauce, spoons on top of the chicken, all over the place. Mushrooms, everything. Get it nice and coated. Very low heat, and this is how your chicken will finish cooking. The chicken's been simmering nicely, steaming itself. Best way to serve, like I said, no tongs. Drop. A nice dollop of sauce. I would serve it with a risotto and a glass of red wine, and you top it with parsley. And that is chicken marsala.